Alrighty, guys. So we have a new devlog, and I'm really, really happy with where the game's at. This was kind of like the sprint that made it feel like we actually have something cool here. Let me just show you. First of all, there are a couple things in here that are temporary-ish. Background, for example, I like the way it looks. Actually, this is my second, run through recording this devlog, and the first one I was like, "Whoa, this background doesn't look as bad as I remember," because it was like, midnight when I threw it in here, and I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm done. I hate the way this looks. I'm gonna come back in, and tomorrow I'll completely redo it." I don't hate it. It needs work, but I don't hate it. I'm thinking like some shading around the edges, stuff like that, because this is just like a bunch of squares, right? And I had done a couple different iterations of it, and I think I got some cool ideas for what I'm gonna do with it. Or at least this background might not be here, but it might be like in this environment. It might end up somewhere else because the whole idea of this environment, and I guess this is the next sprint is going to be a lot of world building and like item, building stuff like that. But this one is mostly going to be, it's supposed to be a museum to these three weirdos. The This is Theos, this is Elowin, and this is Seth. And these are kind of supposed to be like I can never say this word right. Dias, something like that. Like basically like it's supposed to be a bust, right? Where it's like this is the head. It's gonna be floating there, right? Obviously, it's not animating, but it's not going to right off the bat. I gotta actually make the animations and whatnot. So a lot of environment stuff has gotten made, like these things, these pillars, background, stuff like that. And I was actually, we're just gonna do all the art right off the bat. Getting ready because this whole idea is the first area you're in is called the Ascent of the Trinity, which is like a if we want to like boil it down, kind of like a rise up to a throne room, right? And the whole world is a tower, like a big giant, ever growing tower, or ever growing until the events of the game. Um, and well, I guess let's talk a little bit of story. The tower has ceased growing because these three think that that robot kind have reached perfection and are tired of seeing everybody labor. So they're like, you know what, we're done. We're going to stick with where we're at. We're going to be happy where we are. Um, and in order to do that, that's sorry if you hear the dogs behind me. The the world is the there has to be like a citizenry for them to tell to stop, right? And that like I was thinking, well, how do I environmental storytelling? How do I go and say like, hey, these characters they're doing this. This is how they live. This is what they're trying to be. This is how do I make this world feel full? And in my opinion, characters are the embodiment of the world that they live in, right? So I actually got to start working on some of the characters, like the residents of this world. This being one of them. He doesn't have a name yet. I mean, there's gonna be many of these guys, right? Because obviously I can't hand design every single unique character that could possibly be in the world. This is supposed to just be like a mass citizenry, right? So this is kind of like the basis for one of them. I tried to go on like some research of like French Revolution, like high aristocracy type looks. That's where he kind of has like the his top chest piece is supposed to be kind of like one of those jackets with the poof or something like that. I don't know how well I got with it, but that's kind of the idea. And with like the big shoulder poofs, with his orbs there. And like I said, he needs to get some detail, some shading, some cleanup. Dogs, can we not? Bro. Sorry about that. The next one is the one I spent way too much time on, but it was really fun. Next one is our sphere guy, which I spent, like I said, way too much time on. He I say he all the time. Again, it's just me prescribing my own gender to these robots. They're all, non-binary. Haha, get it? Joke. Because, binary robots. But I don't know. I really wanted like a large little orb guy, and that's what we got here. Realized hands suck because man, it took me forever to do these hands. This guy made me start thinking it might be useful to 3D model like just the base. I know Dead Cells did this for their characters, like get a base shape 3D model and like animate that like with bones and whatnot, so that way then I can draw over the frames. I was thinking about that because man, animation, like kudos to everybody who can just visualize that. I am not somebody like that. But yeah, so these two all came from a paint, like the idea that I wanted a painting in the background of Theos with like the citizenry in some kind of way, right? So, but that's all art, right? Like, cool, art's fun, it's nice, it makes things look cool. But let's actually look at some gameplay, because the game actually works. If you couldn't tell from the thumbnail, we can die. We can actually like end the game. So now I'm just gonna let Jeffrey here shoot me. But the idea is your head can take X amount of cracks, right? And every piece of gear has a health bar. And then once you are down to just your head, you enter the abyss, where you have to like kind of collect your parts. And this is supposed to be when the background is in, because right now it's just a big black void. It should be me falling through, and I can slow down time and launch myself in a direction if I need to. And I'm thinking each head might have their own kind of deal. This is obviously very, oh no, very easy. As I said, I almost got cracked again. But the and that transition is not going to stay. It's just because I wanted to get things functional. But the actually, I want to kill you, Jeffrey. 1 second. Bam. We do. I'm thinking that fall might actually change from a fall, and like the background to look like you're falling or something like that. Have some background to imply movement, but you might be dodging lasers or stuff like that. I'm gonna play with the mechanics there. The idea was you go into this void, this other zone, when you're just ahead, and you have to avoid those different obstacles, because if you get cracked there, that counts as a crack, right? So this head that I have equipped right now could take 3 cracks. I get a crack that sends me over there. I get a crack while I'm in there, and then I get a crack. If I got to hit again right now, I wouldn't go over there. I'd be dead, right? Which is actually what's going to happen. I want to get to like the chaotic 4 enemies in a room, where yeah, I'm definitely not going to survive this. But that's the whole gameplay loop, right? And I might change the fact that like you get a crack when you head over there, and maybe cracks are just in there, which I don't know, might make more sense to the player. And the more I talk about it, the more I think that might be a change that I'm going to keep. We just get cracked. There we go. And game ends, right? Because now we can actually die. We can lose, which is awesome. Like, it feels good. The gameplay loop's there. You can actually play the game, right? Because work is starting to ramp up with the semester coming, gameplay might like take a bit of a halt, but I also want to do more world building. Like I said, I'm doing the characters right now, and I want to have more pieces that I can equip in here, because I think that that's going to be, the best thing for us going forward, and it's something that I can do bit by bit when I have time. Also, I have a list of like enemies I want to design, because I currently only have 2. So those are the next things. I'm not exactly sure when the next dev vlog is going to be, because, again, semester's getting ready to get started, trying to get my classes all in order. But yeah, progress is being made, and it actually feels like a game is coming together here. So thanks for everybody who's been watching these, and hopefully I'll have something playable for you guys soon.